Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Slay and Shade. If you are new to the Slay and Shade series, it's me talking about YouTubers, big influencers, brands, just sharing my opinions. I don't hate anybody but Jamie Josta from Hatebreed. So I'm not trying to hate on these brands or people. It's just my personal opinion. And feel free to leave yours down below. I'm going to actually do my makeup in a different way today. I already did my eyes. I wanted to test out this new eyeliner. I didn't do too bad of a job considering how bad I am at eyeliner, but I'm going to be using two of my favorite sponges because I am not a fan of the Beauty Blender, the product or the brand. And so that's who we're going to be talking about today. And just to get it out of the way, I do have a second channel called That Fat Vegan. If you're fat like me, if you have addiction issues, depression, anxiety, I'll leave a link for that channel down below, just in case you feel like going over there to watch me be a little more personal. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna use today. First of all, as far as makeup sponges go, my favorite right now is the Kangaroo sponge. I get them on Amazon. Sometimes there's a deal for like $8.99. You get 2 packages. That's 4 sponges. The black sponge that comes with the pink one, this is it. A used one that is not wet. And you get like 2 pink ones. The black ones that come with them are really good for like concealer, but I don't really like them for my foundation. And this is what it looks like when it is wet. You can see the difference in the size. And I love the texture of this. I think that everybody sort of has their own preference when it comes to a makeup sponge. Now, I like one that's a little bit firmer. So if we're going to compare it to like a Real Technique sponge, which I do like, this is a little bit firmer and I like the bounce better. And this one's a little bit dirty. I just used it like the other day, so it's not that bad. And I'm also going to be using the small Real Technique sponge for my concealer. So I'm going to go in with these two. That's the kind of sponge I like a firmer, really bouncy one, but Real Techniques is great too, but I'll get into all that. I'm going to go in with the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear from L'Oreal. I'm going to go in with this foundation. I'm going to go in with the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, my beautiful Gerard Cosmetics, the Starlet palette. I am going to go into the shade Grace for my highlight. I tend to forget to tell you guys what I'm using, so I just thought I'd do it now. The powder I'm going to set with is the Dermablend powder. That's what I've been into lately. And I'm going to actually try this Vintage Rose shade from Gerard Cosmetics here. This is what it looks like. It's one of the few that I haven't used yet. I think it's really, really pretty. So I'm going to use this. I do have a video coming out on Gerard Cosmetics soon. Oh, and so far I did go in with the L'Oreal eyeliner and the Milani highly rated mascara. Now, I'm trying to just get out my little brushes here, and I'm also going to go in with the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Concealer, and I tightlined with Maybelline Skinny Precise, of course. So, let me tell you guys about how I heard about the Beauty Blender, because for a very long time, like I'm somebody that when I wore, because for a period there I was using like a mineral powder type of foundation for like a year or two, but prior to that, as far as makeup application with like liquid makeup, I would either use my fingers or one of those like rectangular like sponges that have like the round corners, like a makeup pad you can buy in bulk in a lot of places. And that worked out just fine for me. And I remember the first time I knew what the Beauty Blender was, but the first time I saw it in person, my husband and I went to a housewarming party. And I got along really well with the guy, but his fiance, I always had like a hard time like finding things to talk to her about. And so he was showing us around, and in like where her vanity set is, she had a beauty blender. And I was like, oh, she has a beauty blender. And he said, oh, that stupid egg thing. And I was like, yeah. He was like, I think she like hates that thing. And I was like, oh, you know, well, maybe I can talk to her about that. Like, why don't you like it? Or, you know, something. Because admittingly, like, I had nothing to really say to her. And so I go up to her. I was like, hey, you know, I saw you have a beauty blender. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I really don't like them. Meanwhile, I hadn't used one yet. I know. Stupid, trying to like start conversation. And she was like, oh, I absolutely love it. So I felt like a total idiot. So I ended up being like, oh, you know, she told me all about it. She really, really liked it. I was like, cool, you know, I'll have to check it out. So I ended up getting one via their website, and I was like, $20 for a makeup sponge better be good. Now, I'm not saying I didn't like it. It's just that I didn't really see like the big deal. Like, I didn't see the big, yeah, because it was like so like trendy, like on YouTube and stuff at the time. Like, I just, you know, I'm like, oh, it's just a makeup sponge. But why is it so much? You know, I'm like, I could get like packages of those wedge sponges. I could get like 4 of them for like the price of this sponge. So, you know, I bought one, and that was the last time I bought one. When I needed a new one, I ended up going with the AOA sponges. I really love this YouTuber named Messy Jess, and she had talked about AOA sponges, and I was like, oh my god, they're $1. So I ended up going to the website, and not only did I get like 10 makeup sponges, I ended up getting a brush set that I still use often, and it was $12 for like 14 brushes. So I was like, yes, you know. So I was really excited about that. Now, the AOA sponges, they were a little bit harder to clean. I thought that they absorbed less product than the Beauty Blender, but they weren't like as firm as I wanted them to be. So I ended up, the next time I needed sponges, like I gave a few away and stuff because I wasn't going to use them. It was just one of those things where you see like such a good deal on something, so you buy a lot of them, which is why I ended up with so many of them. And I gave a few away, and I used some, and then I was in Target and I saw the e.l.f. sponge. And I was like, ooh, maybe I'll try the e.l.f. sponge. The e.l.f. sponge, I don't know, it didn't really do it for me. I don't know what it was. It was probably just the texture and like the bounce of it, you know. I liked it, but it wasn't like something that I was like super impressed with. So then I tried the flower sponge. I guess that's like Drew Barrymore's brand. And I actually really liked that one. And when I needed a new one, then I ended up getting some Real Techniques from Walgreens. And I was like, oh wow, like at the time I had points, so that was cool. You know what, like Rite Aid I think has the worst like point system when it comes to trying to like get deals on like makeup and stuff. Walgreens is definitely a bit better, but I saw that they had a package and it came with 2 of the regular size sponges and 2 of the little ones, and I was like, all right, it's like what, 13 bucks, something like that. So I got those. So Real Techniques brush or makeup sponges were my jam for quite some time. And I was online. I had used them up to the point where, you know, like you're supposed to get a new one every so often. But one of them, like, I let my nephew play with the one anyway. So that one was ripped. So I was on Amazon, and I tend to get, and I'm still going to do a video about like the best and worst products makeup wise, clothes wise, that I have purchased from Amazon, because I'm like an Amazon junkie. And I saw in like the suggested thing, you know, it may have been, I may have been getting something and it said customers that bought this also got this. And that's where I found the Japanesque sponge. I was like, oh, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I was like, oh, and I used that in a couple of videos, and I really liked that. And then when I was going to repurchase one, that's when I saw the kangaroo sponges, and they had like really great reviews, and I was like, oh, wow, like I got to try these. So this is the sponge for me. Absolutely love them. They're easy to clean. They don't absorb a lot. I mean, it's wonderful. I absolutely love them. Any makeup sponge is going to absorb somewhat, you know what I mean? But I love this infinitely better than the Beauty Blender, and it is so much cheaper. Like I said, sometimes they have deals on Amazon where you can get like 2, you know, for basically the price of 1. So I'm always on there checking whether I need them or not. So, yeah, so I've been through a lot of makeup sponges, and I am a kangaroo sponge fan. That's my favorite. And these little Real Technique ones for concealer. So I know that Beauty Blender is like, you know, we were the first. We were, you know, the one to make this a thing, and other brands just copy us. And I think it's because people will use a makeup sponge that isn't the Beauty Blender brand, but call it a Beauty Blender, and maybe that kind of pisses them off. I don't know. But, you know, lately, just as a brand in itself, like, what is going on? Like, does a 16-year-old girl, like, run their Instagram or what? Like, the shade that they throw at other makeup sponges, especially Real Techniques, is, like, insane. And it's almost like, yeah, like, that's the only way that we can, like, stay relevant is to just have people, like, talk. Because any kind of talking about us is good, whether it's like good press or bad press, you know what I mean? And it's not good. Like, it just makes them look really petty and really, really desperate. Not to mention that when they came out with their foundation range, so many people were like pissed. Colors looked a lot different once we got to see them in like videos. But still, I mean, there was like an orange shade. I mean, it just wasn't it, you know? And I think that they know that most of their sales were from the sponge, you know? And they possibly could be not doing that well, since there are other brands that not only decide, I mean, brands copy brands all of the time, especially when something took off like the Beauty Blender. But you know, what happened is that companies that did make other sponges did them in some cases way better and for way cheaper. And that's the thing, when you wear makeup often, you're going to need to replace your sponges often. And why are you going to spend $20 on one? Like, why are they still $20? You know what I mean? Like, if they kind of wanted to compete still, like, bring the price down a little bit. I don't understand it. Don't even get me started about the cleanser that came with that thing. Oh, I could never get it clean. Like, it was just not happening. So, I also see a lot of people using the like Real Technique sponge or any other kind of sponge. You know, I have 2 friends that do makeup professionally on like the side that went to school for it, and they use the Real Technique sponge. They prefer it. And I see, like, just the other night I watched Teen Mom 2. It's like garbage TV that just takes your mind off of like your own garbage life. So I was watching that, and the one girl on there was using a Real Technique sponge. And I mean, you just see a lot of people finding different brands for cheaper, and they're good. So of course, you know, people are going to go with a different brand. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some people that are like ride or die for the Beauty Blender, no matter what, you know, and I get that, you know, but for me, it's just not, I just don't think it's a big deal. It's a makeup sponge. I just wonder why they have to be so fucking petty. And that's the only thing I could think of, is that they just want to try to stay relevant. They want people to talk about them, you know? But they are like salty as fuck over on their Instagram, and it is something. And it's like, you're a brand, you know what I mean? Like, bring down your prices. Or, you know, do something, come out with something else, you know, don't like shade other brands that are doing well, you know, just because they ended up being able to make it better than you, or at least more affordable, you know. So I've been surprised, you know, seeing all of this garbage that they are posting, like, oh, often imitated, you know, never duplicated, or they'll have, a picture of like Real Techniques sponges, and they'll say like, when you do your homework, and like versus somebody copying you or whatever. It's just ridiculous. You know, if every brand did that to all of the copies out there, I mean, you know what I mean? It just leaves like this bad taste in your mouth. Like, it's just totally unnecessary. And it turned me off from wanting to ever even buy from them. Not that I planned on it, but like when you see stuff like that, you're like, what? This is a company? Like, what is going on here? So I am not a fan. I just feel like, you know, right now, the shade that they're throwing towards other brands, it's immature, it's petty, it's like you don't have anything better to do. It makes them look desperate. It makes them look really salty, and I just don't like it. You know, that's just my opinion. They could be doing other things, like working on different products, you know, coming out with something like cool, or lowering their prices just a bit. Okay, now let me use this lipstick here, and I'm going to try not to talk, because, you know, I'll start to talk and then I'll mess it all up. I'm also not good at lipstick. I guess I'm just not good. Well, I'm not good at a lot of things, but I'm not good at having the patience to go slow. I think that's why I'm really bad at eyeliner. I'm like, just get the fuck on there, you know? Oh, I love this shade. I love it. I know it's very pinky. This is going to go great with a couple of spring dresses that I purchased on Amazon. This is probably going to be like one of my like summer favorite lipsticks. I love a pink. I love a pink. I can't believe it took me this long to try this. I'm going to set with the Slay All Day from Gerard Cosmetics as well. So you guys let me know what you think about the Beauty Blender. Let me know if you guys think it is the best makeup sponge out there. Do you guys even use a makeup sponge? Like, are there other sponges out there that I just don't know of that maybe I should try? You guys have to let me know your thoughts below. I just feel like when a brand starts doing shit like that, it just is such a turnoff. You know what I mean? So you guys let me know, and I will see you down in the comments, at least before I go to work today, hopefully. And I'm probably going to upload over on That Fat Vegan again, just to give those of you that know the whole family situation more of like an update. I did post some things I've been eating because I am trying to lose weight. I am actively doing it. I am actively being conscious of what I'm eating, what I'm putting into my body, like, except for cigarettes. I still have to quit smoking. Ugh. But I have been sober since Saturday, so I'm trying to keep it going. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you feel like it. Follow me on Twitter. If you are a small channel like me, I do have a thread there for you to leave a link to your channel, and I can check it out and do a video on you if I like you. So I have that thread on my Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love and hugs. Bye.